What's going on, NMC students? Welcome to Yearbook 2020. This is a rich tradition that has been existing at North Metro Church for many moons. I don't know how long exactly, and then it went away, I think, for a year or two, and we brought it back last year. And the way we did it last year is we sat down with some seniors, 1 week girls, 1 week guys, and we actually kind of replicated like a living room setup on stage, and I just interviewed everyone live. And it was cool. I loved it. It lets our seniors speak to their experience in NMC students and their walk with the Lord. And it allows our seniors to impart some advice to our underclassmen, to kind of give some wisdom on the other side of high school that's encouraging, hopefully, to our underclassmen. And so we had the same thing planned for this year, but then COVID-19 happened. Now we're all live, and if you're anything like me, you pretty much just live on Zoom now. So we wanted to move it from being on the stage, and we didn't want to just punt on Yearbook. We still wanted to have it because it's a great way to honor our seniors and be helpful to our underclassmen. So we just moved it to Zoom. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to have Yearbook, and this week we've got the ladies with us, and next week we'll have the fellows with us. So to get us kicked off today, I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves. And we're recording from my computer, so the window should be consistent with what I'm looking at. So we're going to start with you, Kendall. Oh, sorry. You know who you are. Go ahead and share your name.
Hey guys, my name is Kendall Valdry. I'm a senior, obviously, and I'm graduating from Hillgrove High School, and I'm planning to go to UGA in the fall.
Hey guys, I'm Sophie Vincent. I'm a senior too, obviously, and I'm graduating from Liberty University Online Academy, and I'll be attending KSU in the fall.
Hi guys, my name is Nicole Dodge. I'm graduating from Allatoona High School, and I will be attending Oglethorpe University in the fall.
Hey guys, my name is Caroline Reeves. I am graduating from Mount Barron Christian School, and I will also be attending University of Georgia in the fall.
Hey guys, I'm Abby Brennan. I graduated from Hillgrove High School, and I will be attending Kennesaw State University in the fall.
All right. So that's everyone. That's the crew today. And I did this last year, and I was going to come up with a new question, but this one's just such a banger question. I love this question. It helps you get to know someone. And so we're going to start out with a little get to know you question, and then we'll transition into some other questions about everyone's high school experience and some wisdom they can impart. So the first question is, get to know you. You're stranded on a desert island, nobody around, but for some reason you can have one book, one movie, and one album with you. I don't know how you're playing the album. Let's just say there's an old record player, this magic record player. You don't even have to plug it in record player, but it only has one record it only has one record, so it can be one album. So you have one album, one book, and one movie. You have this magical TV that doesn't need to be powered, and it just has a VHS tape. So you have to watch this on VHS. And you just put that one VHS tape in. It's the only one you can watch. What do you got? We'll start same order we went last time.
All right, so my favorite movie is Avengers Endgame, so that would be the one I'm watching on VHS.
Hey,
my favorite.
If you want this, I'll let you watch Infinity War and Endgame as one giant movie. You want that?
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. My favorite book. I have such a hard time picking favorite books. I have a whole series I really like, so maybe I'd bring that, but it's called The Heroes of Olympus, so I'd probably bring that with me. And then
Olympus?
Heroes of Olympus.
Heroes of Olympus. Okay.
Yeah. And then favorite album, I'm really liking Elevation's new Graves in the Gardens. I've been listening to that every day, so it's probably great listening to that one.
Do you have a favorite track from it?
I like a lot of them. I love Blessing, and I also really love Available. That one's really good. So, yeah.
I like the song Graves in the Gardens. I get so hyped for that song.
So do I, yeah. I feel like I gravitate towards slower songs typically, but that one's a banger. I like it.
Well, I love because they start trash canning out of it. They're like, this is, and you're like, okay, this song's over. I'm finna change the track. And then they're like, we're not done yet. And you're like, oh, they're not done yet.
Right. I love when they do that too.
Every time I get a little bit excited and surprised because I'm like, wait, is this the part where it's over? Oh, no, this is the part where it comes back. I love
That's when it gets better, yeah.
All right. Great answers. Sophie.
Okay, so for movie, I can't pick between Coco and Frozen. Now, can I pick Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 and have them together just like Kendall's like Endgame and Infinity?
I will allow it.
Okay, then my movie will be Frozen 1 and Frozen 2.
Okay.
And then my book, it'll have to be the Bible, just because I don't read very often, so I have to pick the Bible.
Bro, last year when the fellas went, that was every guy's question. They're like, do magazines count? Like, I don't know.
And then the album, I'd have to do Fine Line by Harry Styles. That's just a beautiful album. It has everything in it. It has pop, it has like sad songs, it has happy songs. I mean, it's immaculate, perfect.
Is that his immaculate? Is that his first album?
It's the second one. I was really contemplating between doing the first and the second, but I was like, if I'm on an island, I'm going to be sad sometimes, so I need some sad music. I'm going to be like needing some happy music, so I'm going to need some of his happy songs. And like, so yeah, if only Kiwi was on it, because that's a great song that was on his first album that I really wanted on the Fine Line. So
what's his new album called?
Fine Line.
Oh, so it's that one. That's so with Adore You on there, right?
Yes, and like Watermelon Sugar.
Yeah, that album
all those
is
good ones.
Okay, that was all of them. That's great answers. I respect all of those. Nicole.
Frozen.
So my favorite movie is actually The Sixth Sense, which is weird because I hate scary movies, but I love that movie. It's not like scary, but it's like creepy. But I like it because like every time you watch it, you notice something new. So I feel like that would entertain me for a while.
Yes.
And then books. I feel like I would want to pick a book that I wouldn't read unless I like had to. So I'm going like War and Peace or like Grace. Like something I wouldn't read unless I'm stranded on an island and it's the only book I have. But I should probably read, but I'm not.
War and Peace will last you the entire stay on
it. Yeah.
And then album, I'm gonna go Fearless by Taylor Swift. I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but all her like good ones originated on that album. New Taylor's better than New Taylor, so
where does that fall on the timeline of Taylor Swift albums? I'm not really hip to her catalog, so I don't know. That's
her second, I think. It's where Love Story came from, if you know that one.
Oh, okay, yeah. Don't judge, but I think we've played this game on my team before where they've asked me to name Taylor Swift songs. I think I know like 2. Maybe 3.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of them either.
Well, but I know her old music really well.
Okay. I know Love Story though.
Yeah.
You're like, is it country? Is it pop? Yes.
Both.
Covering all the bases. Cool. All right, good answers. Caroline.
Okay. My movie, I have a really hard time deciding too. I'm not good. Okay, but I really love the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's like, it makes me think. And so I really like that. I'd either bring that or like the Harry Potter series, but I also like the Harry Potter books. So, okay, 2 different sides of the spectrum, yes. And then my favorite book would be A Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I love Oscar Wilde, so it's like, that also makes me think, and so I would like that. Then my album, this was hard, but I think I would go with The Land of the Living by Upper Room. That's like their new album, and it's so good. Like every song is so good. So I think I would bring that one. So I really thought about that before this. So
I'm gonna have to go listen to that on the way home. I'm gonna listen to that.
Listen to I Just Love You. That's my favorite one.
I Just Love You. Okay. Well, Upper Room, I feel like they release an album every week, but they're only like 4 songs long, and every song lasts like 3 minutes.
Because it's all like spontaneous, but this one is good. This one's really good.
Don't
Okay.
they do a lot of cover stuff? Like cover albums? Or no?
I don't know. I'm not.
I feel like most worship bands do. Like they do, I think they have an album called So Alive, where obviously they cover So Alive. So, all right, I'm going to check that album out, though. Last but not least, Abby.
All right. So for book, I'm not really a big book person, but it would probably have to be The Light of the World by Elizabeth Alexander. If y'all know that book, you probably don't. Movie, Perks of Being a Wallflower. An album, probably the 1975. Me and Matt were talking about this the other day. Their self-titled album, the deluxe version.
It's just not a bad track. Like there's not a poor track.
And like Sophie was saying earlier, like it has slow songs and faster songs. So like you can really have any vibe you want for any mood.
That album's everything. I love that album. Good choices, guys. Good choices. We made good choices. And as teenagers, that's important. So here we go. Next question. We'll do a little history. Give us your history, your relationship history with North Metro and specifically NMC students. So I'm just going to ask you how long you've become NMC students and then how you got to NMC students. So same order. Kendall, kick us off.
Okay. So my family moved here my junior year, and we were trying to find a church to go to, and we just decided to watch North Metro online. And really liked Rob, and so we were like, okay, like let's go, let's try it out. So we went as a family. And then I think that was over the summer, so I'm not sure if students was really happening. Like there wasn't small groups or anything like that. So I think I went to a couple, but mainly just went to like the big service with my parents. And then when the fall came, I decided to join a small group. So that was really cool for me, and it was kind of interesting because the group had been together for a long time, but then I was new, and actually I think Sophie was new at the same time too. So we were kind of like, okay, we're the new kids, and like they're like the people who've been here for a long time. But it was great, and I got right in and made some really great friends, and I love my leaders. Becca and Brittany are my leaders, and I love them. So
Awesome.
it was great.
Sweet. I like it. And where you guys moved here from where?
We used to live in Charleston, South Carolina. So, yeah.
Okay, cards on the table, people. I knew that, but because this is an interview, I have to pretend like I don't know things. Okay? Breaking the fourth wall with that one. I knew that, but I had to pretend like I don't know things. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so I've been attending for about a year. I started coming to NMC during the summer last year, and I started coming to the NMC movies. And actually one of my friends on my volleyball team, her name's Abby, not this Abby, but our other Abby in our small group, we became really close friends with their family, and they were like, hey, you should come to our church, because we were looking for a church. And yeah, that's basically it.
that's awesome. Did you come to the movie night when we showed Spider-Man Homecoming?
No, I forgot. I came to the one with Black Panther, like that one.
Okay.
And then not with the Spider-Man
Oh,
one.
you're saying at the movies.
Yeah, at the movies.
Okay. We had a movie night last year that was a disaster because we got like this inflatable screen and you couldn't hear anything over it.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone here went to that. It was really bad. And then we forgot that there was a couple words in Spider-Man Homecoming, and we had the volume turned up like all the way. So it was just
Oh no.
Anyway. All right. So I'm glad that wasn't your first experience.
No, it wasn't.
That's all right. Nicole.
I've been coming to NMC students consistently since freshman year. I came twice in 8th grade, but I had dance class still on Wednesdays. And so everyone was new because it was 8th grade. They were just coming in. So my friend, Kendall Lipcon, she moved, and Haley Price invited me to come. So I came just twice when I could get away from dance. And then the next year, my dance studio owner realized that a lot of us wanted to go to the stuff on Wednesdays. So she got rid of class on Wednesdays. So then I've just been coming since.
That's awesome. That's a good run.
Yeah.
And how long have you done dance for?
I've been dancing since I was like 3. So
3?
Oh yeah, my older sister.
I was walking by 3, but that's awesome. Good. Wow. All right, Caroline.
So as I said, I went to Mount Perrin, and my small group leader was like the after school care teacher there. Her name's Jennifer. And so when I was in like 5th grade, she like told me about like North Metro, and my brother had been going to like Sublime because he's a couple years older than me. So I started going to like Shift in 5th grade, like the first year they like even like really had Shift, and so which is weird. And then we went to Sublime in 6th grade, and then when we got to 7th grade, they were like, we're moving Sublime to 8th grade, so then we skipped a year, and then Sublime in 8th grade, then it got changed to NMC students, and so then I've gone pretty much ever since. So yeah.
All right, that's enough, man. So you've seen all of it. From 5th grade through.
My class has gone through like my small group at least has gone through like all of the changes, but it's been like so great to like watch it. It's cool.
Yeah. It's so cool too. Shout outs to Jennifer Capon, because I was interviewing her last night for Ask Me Anything, like I was telling you guys, and she's been with her crew for 13 years. She's been 30.
She's
That's
been us all
crazy.
since we were little. It's like
That's
crazy.
cool.
That's insane. But I think
Whoa.
it's really cool too, not just for students, but I think it's cool for her too. And I was telling her this yesterday because like her students got to see her like meet and start dating the man who would become her husband, and
Yes.
marry her husband, and then have a baby. Like I just think that's really cool too.
It was a weird day when she was like, I'm getting married. And we were like, what? It was funny.
His name's Jeff, right?
Yes.
Yes, we talked about that yesterday. Cool. All right, so Abby.
All right, I started coming, it was freshman year. It was like, you know how at the end of the semester or we'll have like the party, like the Christmas party and stuff like that. It was one of those where Michael was still the student pastor. And then I went, I liked it. I had a completely different small group. I'm not even sure. There's like 2 of us that are still together with the small group now. Everyone else is gone because our small group leaders left. We got new ones, but shout out Brittany and Becca. Y'all still stayed. but now, yeah, that's about it though. I just came with people and
And
they
what
no
year
longer
that
go.
was? What year was it?
Freshman year.
Freshman year? Okay. We
Winter
got a lot
of freshman year.
here. That's awesome. Very good. All right, so now we're going to pivot. We're going to transition. We all kind of have an idea of who you guys are, where you went to school, et cetera, et cetera. So now we're going to get into one last history question or 2 more history questions with NMC students, and then we'll get to the advice portion. So give me your highlight, your favorite moment, your most impactful moment, so an actual moment, or whatever sticks out to you most in your mind in your experience at NMC students.
I would have to say mine is going to winter weekend this year. It was my first and last time, but it was great. I feel like I grew a lot closer to my small group because I would come and go when I could. I had a lot of soccer games on the weekends, so I feel like I was a little disconnected with my group at times, but I think that really just solidified my relationships with my leaders and with my other group members, and it was just really great to kind of be in a place where you're isolated and you have to just listen to God. You know, you don't have a lot of distractions, and it was a great time, so that'd probably be my favorite.
It's awesome.
For me, the highlight would be every time I'd come to Sunday service, it would just be like the worship was always awesome. That was always one of my favorite parts. So that was definitely a highlight for me every Sunday going to NMC students. And then another one was definitely like the Christmas party this year. It was definitely awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Lord's really blessed us with a lot of talent when it comes to just leading us in singing. So that's
Definitely.
one of my favorite parts
For
of
sure.
Sunday too. Sometimes it's like, I don't want to go preach. You should just keep doing this. All right, sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
For me, originally my answer was getting baptized by Kristen here, but if I'm being completely honest, freshman year winter retreat, Caroline was here for this.
Yeah.
Kristen announced to us that she was pregnant at the retreat, and we had been begging her to have a baby for so long because when we met her, we met Stephen because he's the boys' youth group leader.
Yeah.
And we were like, please have a baby, and she was like, no. And so at that retreat, she announced to us that she was pregnant. So that kind of like was really fun for us. And now we have Addie, so we love her.
Okay, I might be totally swinging and missing here, but isn't there something to where like you guys predicted that she would be a girl or something like that?
Yeah, okay. The thing with that is when she announced that she was pregnant, our like team color was pink, and then she had a girl, and then the next year we were blue, and we had another youth group leader, Rachel, and she had a boy. So then we were blue again the next year, and we predicted that someone would have a boy, and I think someone in the band had a boy. But like whatever color we were, like someone had that like gender baby.
Whoa,
That's
Crazy.
So
Whoa.
it's crazy.
yeah.
The Holy Spirit said, boom.
Yeah, let's say Jesus moment.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
All right, Caroline.
Okay, so I have like a serious moment and then like a fun one. So I'll do the serious, I'll do the fun one first. So it was like one of like the Wednesday nights back when we did it on Wednesday night, and we used to have like this old like film guy named Jordan, and he also like led worship, Jordan Mason. And he like had this idea that we were gonna like film this promo video and got like all the students that like wanted to do it or whatever. And we went in the parking lot and put our cars like in a circle and had like the headlights shining in the middle and had like those like color poppers things and like the smoke, and it filled everywhere. And we were like dancing around like music and playing music out of our cars. And it was just like so fun. And I was also like, I might have been a freshman or maybe a sophomore. I don't really know. But it was like one of my first ever like times I really got to like connect with all these people, and we all became like super close, and it was so fun. So that was my favorite like fun time. And then like my favorite like serious time was probably like, when I got baptized as a freshman, because there's like a lot of significance about it. And so like I got baptized on May 10th, and that week, like usually the month of May is really difficult for me. And so like, because like my mom passed away on May 11th, and so I was baptized May 10th. And so it was like cool because it kind of like rewrote that week for me. And so like that's probably my most like my favorite like spiritual moment was like that day. And then like my fun moment was when we got to dance in colors. So that was cool.
Wait, so your baptism anniversary is in 2 days.
What's today? The 8th? And yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Oh.
Wait, on Sunday.
It'll be it's on Sunday.
Give her a little shout out, Matt. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Shout outs.
I guess that'd be sophomore, junior, this year 3 years.
Boom. Nice. All right, those are good. Abby.
All right, this is a hard one. This is a hard question for me. I think, okay, senior year itself was great just because, like, this is the best our small group has ever been. So that itself is just good for me. But I think the best memory is probably whenever Gio got baptized. Just because, like, he started going to, like, to Sublime with me, or I guess NMC students. And I don't know, that was a big moment for me. So, well, for him, but seeing that was cool. So,
yeah. That's my guy. I love Gio. Gio, he's going to be on, well, for those of you watching, he's going to be on next week for Yearbook. So, yeah, that was a cool moment. Dude, can we just say, winter retreat is just always amazing, and baptism night is always incredible. Oh, man, I can't even handle it, though. Oh.
Wasn't baptism night supposed to be, like, Monday?
Yeah.
Last Monday.
I literally had my calendar set, and it was like Sophie gets baptized. And
I was so excited.
We had some great baptisms lined up. We had like some cool ideas this year, so I was a little bummed. We put this on our social media. Baptism night is happening. We just don't know when yet. And that's just how things are right now. So it's good. We have a whole plan. We're just pocketing it for now, and we're just gonna have to wait. So, but anyway, yeah, those are two of my favorite times of the year. Well, guys, thanks for sharing that. Now let's go to last kind of history question. You know, we asked how you came to North Metro, how long, and then pinnacle highlight experience. Now give me maybe one of the most important things that you've learned that you will take with you through life, that you learned in high school and your experience in NMC, just and more specifically concerning like your walk with Jesus, the way you live in the world. What's something you've learned that really stands out to you?
Yeah, so I would probably just say to believe in God's plan for your life and trust in it. Like my favorite verse, which this might be jumping the gun a little bit, but it's James 1:2-3, and it just says, "Consider it a great joy whenever you experience various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance." And for me, just like in my testimony, I can look back and see so many questions of like, why God? And I've just learned that I have to just trust in him and believe that he has a plan for my life. And ultimately just that faith that I have in those moments will then give me endurance for the next moment to then be able to, okay, I have this concrete foundation of I trust in the Lord and he gives me endurance. So then when that next trial comes, I know that I have that faith that's leaning on him. And that just helps me to, get through the hard times because they're going to come. But that's just been great. And so just going into college, I'm just trying to remember to have faith and to trust in him because who knows what's to come there. But I just know that I have God with me all the time. So
that's awesome.
There's like so many things for me that I've kind of like learned through high school. I think like the main thing is really like not to compare myself to like other people, whether that be how they're doing in their lives or their physique compared to my physique, like whatever it is. Don't look at society and see, oh, I have to be like them. I have to do this and this and that to be like them. So that was definitely one of them that I still struggle with today. But like, I have to remind myself that God made me and he made me a certain way for a certain reason. And yeah, so that was one of the things I learned.
That's great.
For me, it's specifically for NMC students, but one day we were in youth group and Kristen, love her, said, she gave advice. We were talking about like our walk with God, and she said, where do you see God? And we were like, didn't really know how to answer that question. And she was like, oh, because a lot of y'all see him up there, but he's right here in front of you. And I think about that advice like at least once a week, if not more.
That's crucial.
No, I know. Like, because a lot of times, like, I had that separation of like, you pray to God and he's up there and he's like doing work up there. But like, she was like, he's really like in this room with y'all. Like, he's walking with you. Like, you're creating that distance. And so I took that advice with me and I just kept with it because I think it's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
Shout outs to Kristen O'Rig. Shout outs.
Yeah, I think my biggest thing has to deal with like the story of Jonah. And I've never really like dug deep into the Jonah. I always knew like he was just the guy that got swallowed by a whale. I never paid attention to like his
Just
story.
the guy that got swallowed by a whale.
Yeah.
Regular guy who got swallowed by a whale.
But so Jonah was called to Nineveh and was called to give like this message for these people to like come to Jesus. And Jonah was like, I don't want to do this. Like these people are wicked. And God was like calling him. Jonah was like, no. So Jonah gets on this boat and he's running from God. And like there's a storm right now. And he kind of like outs himself. And Jonah's like, hey guys, like, this is my fault. like throw me overboard. So Jonah throws himself like overboard and the storm stops. And then that's when he gets swallowed by a whale. So like in that whale, like arguably, I mean, that could be worse than actually going to Nineveh because like he's sitting there for 3 days just like in his like grief and like sorrow and just sitting there trying to like process and learn. And then like later, he gets like spit up and he goes to Nineveh. So I think like a big thing I've learned this year and like something I will like always take with me is like don't miss out on like the Lord's calling for you. And like I've definitely been in situations where like I don't want to like share something. I don't want to do what God is telling me to do. And like it's like painful sometimes to like always follow what you're called to. But I think like what I've really, really taken away is like arguably it could be worse to like sit in like the grief of like not doing what you're called. And so I think like living like as Christians, like as our calling and like as leaders and being put in a position of leadership, like to always follow like what you're called to and like don't be like afraid of that. And I don't know. So I think that's probably like one of my biggest takeaways this year.
That's a good word. Yeah, it's like the Lord will get you to what he's calling you to do one way or the other, Yeah. Easy way or the hard way. I've had times in my life where I was like, no, I'm going to go this way. And then I always end up where the Lord wants.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's cool.
All right. I think like through all the relationships in my life with like friendships, boyfriends, stuff like that, and all the messages on forgiveness, that's definitely the big takeaway I would get. It definitely like makes me look at all the situations I am and have more godlike perspective on them rather than like being selfish and putting my feelings first always. So
that's good. So you feel like you're more apt to forgive someone now, and you feel like you're more ready and able to forgive them?
Before I was saved, I definitely like did not understand the concept of forgiveness as well. And then like freshman year, whenever I got saved, I just like, I honestly turned into a completely different person.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, I appreciate you sharing those. I feel like all of those were super helpful and super encouraging. So I want to just walk off question one more and not to create any overlap. So if you're like, well, the thing I just said would be what I would say. That's totally fine too. But I want you to give a good word specifically to our underclassmen. So 8th and 9th graders, I'm looking at you. I want you to give a good word to them, give an encouragement to them, but I'm gonna kind of wrap it in a hypothetical. You have a time machine. The time machine allows you to travel back to, that's the sound of time machine makes, and you get to talk to 8th grade you. Knowing that you got 8th grade ahead of you and then you're going to go into high school, what would you tell 8th grade you if you could go back in a time machine and talk to 8th grade you?
I would tell myself to relax. I literally remember, I think you were talking about grades and like not stressing out about your grades. I literally missed that message because I had soccer and I was like, I need this message. But I was just always so high strung about school and just like, I have to be perfect. I have to get, amazing grades. And not even my parents' pressure was on me. It was just me putting pressure on myself and trying to be this perfect person and on all these things, which is, your school's important. Okay. But you have to remember that the Lord's already laid out your life for you and he already has the story of your life written. And so if you're tired and need to sleep, and so I would get so focused on the numbers and the status and, it was so much pride in just trying to be the best. And I just had to realize, like, if I just relax a little bit and kind of stop to enjoy where I'm at and my friendships and my relationships with my parents and my family, I think I would be able to have enjoyed a little bit more than I did, which I still had fun. I'm good. But I just think for all of you guys out there who are, especially like reaching those higher years of school where it's a little more pressure, just realize that like the Lord has already written your story and it's going to be amazing and he has great plans for you. So you can kind of relax and enjoy the moment instead of looking so far into the future that you drive yourself crazy, so.
That's helpful.
Yeah, mine is very similar to Kendall's, basically. It's really just like, don't worry so much about what other people think of you. Also, don't worry if you get a bad grade on a few assignments, because even if you do put in the work and study, there's sometimes God just has a bigger plan and he has it planned out, just like how Kendall was saying. So really, it's just take one day at a time, live to glorify God, and just trust that he is just knows what he's doing and just watching over you. So
it's a good word.
For me, one thing that I would definitely tell myself and other people is just to stay true to who you are, even if you feel uncomfortable, because a lot of times at NMC students, we're all kind of like equally yoked and on our journey together, and it's easy to feel comfortable like expressing your faith and staying true to that. But in high school, especially going to a public high school, you can feel pulled in different directions, or like, oh, because I have this set of beliefs, or I don't want to do this and I'm uncomfortable doing that. You feel like people are judging you and you can lose friends and you can become kind of an outcast, but just like keep going. And if it's who you really are and you want to continue to pursue God, just do it even if you're uncomfortable, because if you're uncomfortable, that means you're probably doing it right. So just keep doing it. So yeah.
That's good.
Pull that quote. That's a good quote.
I like that. Yeah.
Put that on
That's good.
Yeah, mine's like weird. I don't know. I feel like it's like super like personal too. So I don't know if like everybody deals with this, but like I used to like not let myself like feel anything, like have like feelings of like sadness and like I don't know. I just would never try to like process anything. I would just like go with the flow. I was super like upbeat and just like all the time, but like it's okay to have an off day. Like I've definitely learned that, and like you're like real people that like love you for you and not love you for like who you're performing to be, are like gonna sit with you on your off days and like sit with you like when you're sad or like when you're feeling something or when you're feeling something that you don't understand, or like if you're stressed out or just like anything, like your real people are gonna sit with you through it. And also like this is like hard for me too, is like having expectations of people, like having standards, like because what happens when someone meets your expectations and like then you get to like go on with them, like it's just cool. And so I think my like thing would just be like to like let yourself feel it, let yourself have an off day. You don't have to like perform all the time. And so yeah, just like I think it goes along with like just being authentically you and like taking a break every now and then, like relaxing. So I think it like goes on with all of them.
I think that's a great word for everyone. I mean, that resonates with me. I think you are probably like 12, 15 years ahead of where I was at your age. I mean, when I say when I was your age, it makes it sound 1,000. But not like my whole life. I was just like, I gotta be Matty J. It's this character I play. And the older I've gotten, I was like, dude, just do it genuinely and authentically. Like, if you're tired, you can be tired. If you're feeling a certain kind of way, you can feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
You have permission for that. So hats off to you, and I applaud you for your maturity in that. You're ahead of where I was.
Thank you. Took a while.
When you're my age, you won't have these bags under your eyes, okay? So
I already have some under my eyes.
all right, Abby, bring us home.
All right, I think everyone really hit everything. All I really have to say is your comfort zone will kill you. Stand out from the herd. Don't be influenced by others, and just follow your heart.
Yeah.
I like this stuff about the comfort zone. I smell series coming on. I'm gonna maybe just quote you guys. That's good. Well, guys, our time is through. We are right about. We're like really good on time. Like where I wanted to be. Perfect. Hey, shout outs to you guys. Shout outs to all the seniors. We don't have time to interview everyone. If we could do Yearbook for like 2 straight months, I would love to do that and just have all the seniors on. But for those of you who weren't on here, we love you, seniors. On a kind of personal note, sorry it's been a really weird year that like no senior classes ever had to go through, but I do firmly believe it will make you a more resilient bunch and a more grateful and I think probably well-adjusted, well-balanced bunch. And for you that were on this call specifically, thank you. I really appreciate you guys putting the time in for this. I appreciate you guys sharing your wisdom, and I think it will be helpful for the underclassmen, and especially even for the juniors. I think it gets them excited for next year, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
There's good stuff to come.
You guys have to go hard since we weren't able to.
Yeah.
Real. Man, isn't it weird? Like, we didn't have any kind of like warning, like, hey guys, this is gonna be our last time meeting together.
No.
I just thought it was on Thursday. Wait, the world shut down? Okay, so are we still meeting?
Right.
Anyway, well, guys, appreciate it. Shout outs to you, and you guys stay safe out there. Okay.
Will do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.